Happy victory Sunday, 9-1. Texas pulls out a 20-10 victory over the Arkansas Razorbacks. 9-1, one loss here in the SEC, and at this point, it's very clear, or at least we now have more clarity on what the SEC title race looks like with Texas and Texas A&M at the top. Our matchup looming in a couple weeks. We both have one more team to play between then. We have to play Kentucky. They have to go to Auburn. And then, assuming we all handle our business, got a big showdown on November 30th. So things are setting up. We have more clarity to what we're headed. And where we're headed is high stakes football. Where we're headed is all the chips on the table, remembering we're a team. And I think people need to am I echoing? You guys hearing an echo? I don't know how I'm echoing if I'm the only person in the room. Are you guys, is anybody else hearing an echo? Nolan says I'm echoing. What about everybody else? Nolan, I think you might have me on multiple devices, brother, because I don't have anything else planned. Everybody else says I sound good. Okay. Sorry about that. I got to listen. Okay. If we sound good, I'm going to keep it moving. We have to Nolan throwing the whole damn show off right off jump. That's like a false start, Nolan. Shit. I'm over here checking equipment. I'm like, I could have swore we're good. All right, anyway. But we got high stakes football coming up, right? And there's been a lot of conversation back and forth. These are good conversations. We're winning games, right? We're coming off, and that's where I wanted to go before Nolan kind of threw me off. But we are coming off of a season last year where we were one game short of a national championship. We know what this is like at this point. This is not new to us. We are in a new conference and we are playing against different opponents now. But in terms of what's on the table, we're going to be navigating a new playoff system. We made the old playoff system, which was more difficult to make. It was only a 14 playoff system. We were last play of the game, last throw of the game, last opportunity to win a national championship last year. The expectations here are and should be high. The way we hold this team, a lot of us, myself, thinks that this team has even more upside, really because of the defense, than even last year's team. When you consider the opponents that are out there, how the landscape of college football looks right now, we have an opportunity. Like, I think last year's, you look at how good Washington was, what Bama turned into last year, how good Michigan was really, really good last year. With especially Jim Harbaugh still being in college football, DeBoer still being at Washington. Last year was tough. This year, I'm sorry. I mean, look at watching Oregon versus Wisconsin last night. I've been watching Ohio State. Those are the two teams that are in front of us. When you look behind us, all of these teams are very flawed, us included. All of these teams are flawed. To me, they ain't juggernauts like there were last year. I think there's more parity now. But I'm also grading this team of like, yo, y'all can accomplish so much. So we got to see those things. We want to see those things, some of these things that are issues and concerns for us fixed before we get to College Station, before we get to potentially playing in Atlanta, before we have whatever the playoff game is going to be, whatever seed we have. You fix those things now, or you try to improve, right? So, it's interesting. Yes, we got to stop playing with our food, and we didn't do that last week against Florida. They stood on business. They knew they were playing a weaker opponent. I understand Arkansas rivalry game on the road, all those factors, but I'm going to go through some stuff here to kind of mitigate some of that, because it's like, yes, I understand all those circumstances, but like there's stuff that we're just flat out missing. like we're not doing well. So I'm gonna touch on those things. We're actually gonna, I'm gonna delay the monetization here because I'm gonna show. We're actually gonna do a little film study on a particular play and talk about all this. But as you come in, hit the like button, subscribe, the whole bit. That's how you support the channel. That's what we stand on. And excited to talk ball with y'all today. Darren, thank you for the super chat. Hook'em, I'm happy for the win. Quinn concerns me. Feels like we've said this constantly, but I think this is just who he is at this point. Uh, hold this one for a second. Again, appreciate the donation, brother. I will get to this. The film study I'm going to do with you guys is on Quinn because I'm concerned too. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't. I think some people in this fan base are lying to themselves, but also people allowed to have different opinions. I know some people are just the happy-go-lucky fans of if we win, everything is sunshines and rainbows, and if we lose, the sky is falling. I think football is a lot more nuanced, and there's a lot more context in that, especially depending on what your goals are. If our goal is to win a national championship, we're not playing well enough. If you're an Oregon fan and you survived yesterday, you're going to be really freaking critical of how your football team looked at Camp Randall yesterday if you're trying to win a national championship. They're not going to be over there blowing smoke up those guys' asses. And we're not going to be over here blowing smoke up. We will give credit where credit is due, just like we did last week. When they played good ball, I always give people their flowers. And I'm actually going to start this segment giving people their flowers. But again, I said this last season when we were on our way to winning the Big 12 and things we wanted to see improve, that they ended up improving to get to at least at the initial goal of the Big 12 championship game. But Darren, I will get to this. I want to start with Jade. I want to start with Jade Barron in this defense. Jade Barron, at this point in the year, has my vote for the Thorpe Award. I've now been on this for a little bit. I think we kind of know who the main suspects are. Travis Hunter got another pick yesterday. Caleb Downs continues to play great football. But what Jade Barron is doing at every level of this defense, as well as off the field leadership, everything he's contributing, he is having an All-American season. He took that number 7 because he wanted to give honor and thanks to Michael Huff, who also was a Thorpe winner for us back when we won the national championship. And he's taken that number 7 jersey and ran with it, man. I am so proud of him. I was dead wrong to even have concerns about him moving to field corner. I had concerns. I wasn't sure about how he would handle outside speed. I wasn't sure how he would handle playing out in that type of space. He has flourished. He has improved as well, right? I see a better football player. I see a more complete football player. I see a more confident football player. Not to say that he wasn't already a really good football player before. We know that where he was playing in the nickel where Jalen Gilbo currently resides. But now seeing him outside and the stuff that he's doing, I also think he's playing in the perfect defense to showcase those things. We don't play a whole lot of man outside. We don't play a whole lot of, he's playing a lot of cover 3, a lot of where he can kind of just still have his eyes on the quarterback. I was always told you guys with Jade, if his eyes are on the quarterback, like he's more so playing out of phase, it's like a Trayvon Diggs type, right? Like he's just going to be a ball hawk. He's so smart at anticipating what the defense is doing. His film study habits are A1. If you've ever watched him talk about football, you can tell he has very high football IQ. If you ever hear him talk about watching film, what he looks for on film, keys and things of that sort, I can't say enough good things about how he's played ball. He's not the only one that's been balling out in the secondary. I mean, it's the whole group. The professionalism that Andrew Makuba has brought us, the leadership that Michael Taff has brought us, the lockdown play that Manny Muhammad does on his side to the boundary. This is a group that complements each other well. They're well coached. They talk. The communication. I mean, a few years ago, I had a big problem with communication. And it's enabled young guys to play with them when they get in the game. Kobe Black, I know he gave up a couple things, but when he has to learn. Bubba has to grow up. So when he's in there, he's able to play with some veterans. When Jelani McDonald now replacing Derek Williams and all the work that he did for us, Jelani McDonald is playing in an environment now where he can just learn, see ball, hit ball, go. Jalen Gilbo's gotten better as a football player to me and been much more consistent. And he's held it down at the nickel all year long. So this group, they're led by Jahdae Barron. And he's played remarkable football for us this year. And I'm very, 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 very impressed with everything he's brought to the table. I agree with this. He is a better defensive player right now, for sure. For sure. He has been really, really good. Let's see here. Again, we'll get to the Quinn stuff in a little bit. Trust me, we will talk about that. Do, 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 do. John Wayne, why are you so tough on Nansen and them linebackers? I'm sorry, I don't see where they're playing bad football, man. And I actually thought they did a great job understanding the assignment, which was really slowing down Taylor Green's legs and staying with their keys and staying in their gaps. I thought they did a great job with that. Anthony Hill, that's the type of stuff you're going to need when you go see Marcel Reed in 2 weeks. Mobile quarterbacks, guys that are running a lot of zone read option, all those type of dynamic looks, or even scramble drill. I think we do a very good job against mobile quarterbacks. Taylor Green finished in the negative yesterday. So I think Nansen's a part of that. I think Nansen is been a big part of why our defensive scheme seems to be much more aligned from front to back as well. And then they also do a very good job of timing up their blitzes when they do decide to blitz. They still don't blitz too often, but I see, at least when I watch the games, I see whenever they do it with a purpose and they do it well and they cover themselves up on the back end pretty well. So, I mean, Texas defense is as good as anybody in the country. Statistically, they're the best. But sometimes the stats and, they pass the eye test. Alfred Collins, I know some people are talking about Alfred Collins here. Great job by him. That's another person we should give some flowers to on the Sunday morning. I'm starting off with positives. This defense deserves to be talked about. This defense deserves to be recognized for what they do. I mean, their best players are on offense. Bobby Petrino's on offense. I mean, when you look at their coaching staff, they're an offensive team, and we shut that shit down for the most part. So Alfred Collins, not just making big plays out the game, but clutch. Bubba made himself some money yesterday. And it's a combination. I always talk about combination of the older guys as well as some of our young bulls. Colin Simmons. And I told you guys this in the Friday Night Live. I said this would be a Colin Simmons game. I said that. He had multi sacks, a couple sacks yesterday. Because I knew with the way Arkansas is and their athletes, it's more of an athlete type game, more of an athlete type matchup. They're going to try to hit the perimeters. Well, that's where Colin's going to thrive, right? So it's just understanding styles make fights, and the fact that we have multiple edge type personnel. I knew Trey Moore was going to have a good game. I knew Colin Simmons was going to have a good game because of who we were playing, and that's important, right? We are going to need multiple tools when we play some of these good teams coming down the stretch again in these high stakes football games. Yeah, Kenny Baker's done a great job. I've said that over and over. I mean, they've improved in season. That entire line. I mean, they've gotten better and better. I mean, we spend so much time talking about some of the regression that's happened in some areas on the team, and obviously we were performing a little bit better in September than we are now on some areas of the team. That is not the case with the defensive line. No, 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 no. That's not the case with the defensive line. Those guys are getting better and better and better. They dominated the line of scrimmage against a really big offensive Arkansas offensive line. They dominated. The you know, a lot of people were concerned about the run game coming off the Florida game, right? Because again, I've always said Florida has a good rushing offense, and you saw when they got their quarterback back what they did to LSU, by the way, yesterday. So let's also keep that in mind. But and I know they got Badger back and other guys, but Florida's running scheme is good. We got better week over week, and the things I was nervous about, shout out to Quinn and Jackson for getting in the end zone, happy for them. But for the most part, we shut that shit down. They were going 3 and out pretty quick. We were aggressive. We got turnovers. We were clutch. Closed the game out. Got the ball back to our offense. Now our offense finished the game. Yeah, our offense was good in the fourth quarter. Give them credit for that. When the money was on the table, they delivered. Quinn included. When the money was on the table in the fourth quarter, the offense did come through. But we needed our defense to play the way that they played to win the game the entire day. All right? We needed that because, unfortunately, we did not perform very well against a defense that's ranked 125th against the pass in the country and had been giving up to a lot of people recently. I know some people are, like, oh, well, they did really well against Tennessee a few weeks ago. Tennessee, offensively, when they played, they had been sputtering a lot. That's not the standard I'm holding this offense to. I'm sorry, especially with a freshman quarterback. No. Tennessee had been sputtering a lot when they went to Fayetteville, and they were ready to get beat. The other teams with veteran quarterbacks like Jackson Dart and them, they put it on Arkansas. Garrett Nussmeier, they put it on Arkansas defensively. So I'm not giving them that excuse. Absolutely not, especially at 11 a.m. They didn't have to go to Vietnam at night. They went down there at 11 a.m. You should be able to move the football with no problem, in my opinion. Yep. No, this defense stood on business big time. To be fair, I'll John Wayne, I'll go back and watch that. I do think that Johnny Nansen has been way more of a plus. I'll go back and watch that. So yeah, AC and D, and yeah, they're all dogs. I agree. I agree. All right, we can touch on special teams real quick. Our weekly special teams right here on the channel. And I know some people are gonna actually let me stay on topic. Let me stay on topic because I be losing focus sometimes. Let me read Fahim's comment first. Everyone on the defense deserves love, but man, special teams is a problem right now. Can't keep giving short fields. You can't expect them to hold. Every team we've played shouldn't be out punting us. We don't have a punter. You just don't have a good punter. There's nothing. The only thing that Texas can do about that is be better offensively and avoid punting. The only thing Texas can do about that is control field position with your offense, and then I mean that's a problem. I agree. Now the kicking game, Burt was fine yesterday. I have no. If you make your kicks, and do what you're supposed to do. Burt was fine yesterday, so I'm not going. He wasn't asked to kick anything big, deep or clutch or anything. But he made his kicks, so I'm fine with that. But the punt return stuff, I told you guys with Silas Bolden, these are little mistakes that could turn into big mistakes in big games. Him trying to field the ball when it's clearly going into the end zone, we're going to get a 20-yard, we're going to get the ball to the 20-yard line for a touchback. And he's so cavalier with it, and he's trying to make something happen. I respect it, but you get tackled like the 10-yard line, brother. That's minus 10. Think about it. That's minus 10. Gotta be smart. Gotta be smart. And then there was another one later in the game where I think he lost the ball and he didn't field it, and then the ball goes back another, the ball lands at like the 40 and we're starting to drive inside our 20. That's bad special teams. It's bad special teams. Not fielding punts sometimes and then fielding them in the wrong part of the field when they should be touchbacks. I'm not saying Salah's a bad player or anything like that. I mean, he's actually played pretty well offensively for us. And he's not been he's not muffing punts or anything like that, but he's just too cavalier with it, in my opinion. And I think he's making some strategic errors with where he's fielding the ball. And that's where I got to start looking at with Jeff Banks, because it's like, Coach, what are we doing to get this through the player and fix this? I have not seen it fixed. This has been a problem since the first game of the season. We noticed this in the first game of the season versus Colorado State, where he was fielding the ball and how he was fielding the ball and some of the traffic. And I know it sounds like we're bitching about and we're nitpicking because it hasn't really come back to bite us. But that's my point. Those type of things are always the things that come back, not just to bite you, but end your season. And you don't even know it. I've been the guy on Bleacher Report. We do weekly shows, and it's really stretched me because I watch a lot more football. I've always watched all of football, but like I'm watching a lot more football intently, following certain teams. I've been watching BYU all season long. I watched them last night against Kansas. There's a reason why I picked Kansas, and I doubled down on the Kansas beating BYU because BYU had been playing so freaking sloppy all year long, and they weren't. They were I'm not going to say a lucky 9-0, but they were ready to get beat because of little stuff that they were not fixing week over week, and then it came back to bite them in the ass, and they lost, and they didn't get that lucky turn. I'm trying to avoid that for Texas by seeing something get fixed before it really costs you. It's always better to learn after a win than needing a loss to get it right for you. And I saw it coming with BYU, mile away. And I'm seeing it with Texas with this special teams thing. I'm telling y'all right now, I'm sounding the alarms. This will be their demise in the playoffs if it does not improve. Period. I love the third Longhorn guys. I believe third Longhorn said it best. Our identity is a defensive team, and we should change our habits as fans to see it as such. Well, Marley, I agree and disagree. We have a lot of firepower on this offense, and we have an offensive head coach. So yes, the team is clearly being led by the defense, 100%. But with the investments that have been made on this offensive line, with those running backs, with those receivers, and that quarterback room, I mean, and coming into the game, you're averaging 38 points per game. They got a hum offensively. Guys came here. Think about why guys came here. Think about this, Marley. Xavier Worthy, A.D. Mitchell, Jordan Whittington, Jatavian Sanders, Jonathan Brooks, Keelan Robinson. Those are pretty much everybody involved in your offense got drafted last year. And they were playing with that same offensive line that's here now, outside of Christian Jones, who was also drafted. Quarterback was the one that was the trigger man. You got the same quarterback. I've talked about quarterbacks in year 3. This can lead us to the Quinn discussion. They're not performing, and they're underperforming to what the expectation should be. Isaiah Bond is a really good football player. He's not getting enough opportunities, in my opinion. Matthew Golden, every single time we throw him the football, he produces. I don't see him making mistakes. I see him catching touchdowns. Ryan Wingo's been quiet recently, but we've seen how explosive he can be. We've seen how explosive Jaden Blue can be in the run game. Quintavion Weiser in the run game. Now, our run blocking, to me, watching the game back, I actually thought the run blocking wasn't even half bad. I don't like some of the run play calls. I think sarc needs to be held accountable. Sark had an A+ script and just plan for the Florida game. I probably give him like a C+ for yesterday. I didn't like a lot of stuff he did. That 3rd and 2 little flick to DeAndre Moore away from the line after we just mauled with Wisner and them to get 8 yards. That's not good complimentary play calling to me. Keep mauling. There's nothing wrong with doing it over again. But with all of the resources that are here, including this coaching staff, this offense needs to hum. And when they go up against opponents that are struggling the way Arkansas was, look how many position changes Arkansas made during the bye week. They changed out a whole bunch of guys. And then the other elephant in the room, 3 high, the flyover defense, whatever you want to call it. Why is that still whooping Texas's ass? We've been seeing that defense for 3 years now. Why is that still whooping your ass? Run the ball. Hit your shots. It's not even, I mean, there's plays here. Let's go to the quarterback. It's missing throws. Point blank. There's first drive of the game. He's overthrowing Matthew Golden by 5-6 yards. He's beat over the top. Put some air in that thing and let him run underneath it. Or put it on him. And he's throwing from a clean pocket. Totally clean pocket. Skies are sunny. Not an inconvenience in sight. And we're air mailing. I mean, I want to see us improve on those things. Yes, the defense needs to continue to stand on it. But my concern with that is because of our punting game and the struggles of us controlling field position, I worry that we end up in a Georgia situation again where it's almost impossible for the defense because they're only playing on short fields. When you combine the way that the offense is playing and the fact that they don't have a punting game, that worries me in terms of field position in big games. And now you're putting the defense in a near impossible situation. That's what the Georgia game was. And that, to me, until we see otherwise, is kind of a preview for what could potentially happen. Because I'll tell you this, if your offense is stalling in Vietnam, your offense is going to stall in College Station. Unless you try to get some consistency and fix it, or the quarterback starts hitting on shit that is there wide open. And I said it. He needs Gunnar Helm. Now, he had some drops too. I think Wingo had a drop. Now, again, it's not just Quinn. It's not isolated to just Quinn. These are execution things too. So everybody got to own the offensive struggles. Okay? And I'm not over here calling for Arch Manning's head. I haven't done that. I didn't go on public and say that Arch needs to come in and get reps and all this type of stuff. They've invested in Quinn Ewers. They put 3 years into Quinn Ewers. They believe that he knows the whole system and can run everything full menu. But as somebody who is supposed to be a all-everything prospect, and yeah, we got to bring it up, all-everything prospect, people talk about arm talent, all that type of stuff. There's no more excuses. He's not injured. He's not injured. You got to perform. He performed last week. 5 touchdowns, 19 and 27, 300-something yards passing. And he was hitting guys, open guys, stuff that schemed up for him. But that's not a first-round quarterback. A first-round quarterback is somebody that can step up in a dirty pocket, make some plays with either their feet or their mind. That's why when I go to this film session, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Hitting guys, sometimes you're going to have to make a contested throw or uncomfortable throw. But putting that on you, elevating your guys. And I'm sorry, but Mr. Ewers, you're getting to operate a super team, bro. All these other quarterbacks around the country don't got this type of firepower around them. You do. There's no excuses. And you got Sark. I'm not. He got to play better, and he's got to be more consistent. It can't be your 5 touchdowns one week, and then you're missing Gunnar Helm in the flats the next week, wide open. And then you have a tight end running Gunnar Helm again, inside leverage into the end zone, and you throw in dirt balls, clean pocket. Misses happen. I get it. But I was told you have special arm talent. I need to see it. Our deep balls with him are almost uncatchable. They feel uncatchable half the time. I don't. Where's the arm talent? His feet had come a long way at the beginning of the season. I saw really good footwork from Quinn, especially that Michigan game against other NFL guys. Kenneth Grant, Mason Graham, Josiah Stewart. He was moving all over the place. Rayshawn Benny. That whole Michigan defensive line NFL guys. And he's darting in and out of the pocket, being decisive, using his mind, understanding the defense. But the boy inconsistent. Where is that guy? That guy makes an appearance. Is he a werewolf? Is Quinn a werewolf? You come outside once a month? Is that where we're at? And the rest of the time it's like, average play. Can't have average play with this team, with this unit, with this group that was bought and paid for and put together around you. No. We stand no. I'm not. Some people think the Quinn Ewers criticism has gotten out of hand, all this type of stuff. He's put up stats. Yeah, stats look good this season. For somebody that's missed multiple games, 21 touchdown passes, 6 interceptions, another one on the ground, 22-6 touchdown interception ratio, almost 70% completion percentage. Look, the raw numbers look good, but the eye in the sky don't lie. I just have to be honest. The wide receivers can help more, but our wide receivers are better than pretty much. We are in the 98th, 99th percentile of receiver play, in my opinion. The run game, yes, the run game needs to be better. But the coaches need to help with that. When they get to going downhill like the last drive when they went and got 7 and put the game away, the offensive line got pissed off, started mauling people. They mauled people all the way into the end zone, and he did the rollout to Matthew Golden and made that throw. And they were talking shit, and they were mad. That's why aren't we giving the offensive linemen the opportunity to maul earlier in the game and live on that, and then let Jaden and Contravian and even Jared and let them run behind that, because people are onto your wide zone stuff. People are onto your screen stuff. We can't live. I was watching Chris Sims and them on the college football show thing, and they were talking about Texas' whole offense just lives at the line of scrimmage with Quinn. Like, there's money to be made downfield. I can't wait to get to show that on the film. But everything, to me, because it's also a mindset. When we start punching people downhill, to me, the quarterback, when he drops back, he looks more aggressive. The receivers are more open. Like, there's more space. But when we start doing that side-to-side stuff and we just – it's like it almost establishes the whole body language of the offense is too cool for school to me. And you can't do that shit against Georgia again. You think you can go – we will get our ass knocked off the block again in Atlanta if we go down there doing that. And some of you guys that are saying we're going too far, we're bitching about a 9-1 team. All right, you'll be the same person to crash out when this offense can't get over 17 points in College Station. I'm telling you right now. And we're in a dogfight down there because we can't score and we can't move the ball. That's why, because I know just from the Texas A&M standpoint, they already lost their best offensive player, Le'Veon Moss, for the year. They got Marcel back there. They're more of a smart, just will manage the game type offense. But this offense has the potential to go into somebody's house and put up 45 points and blow the game out of the water where they can't breathe, like South Carolina did. South Carolina was putting points on the board. We're going to put them in deep waters. They can't get up to that point. But you go to Texas A&M and you're sputtering and you have 14 points, 17 points, 20, like you did in the Arkansas game, they will beat you. I'm telling you that right now. And all these people talking about, why are we so critical of Quinn? Why are we so critical of the offense? You'll see why then. It'll be too late. I want the roll out of bed dropping 30 at minimum sarc that I've seen the last 3 years. Not this bullshit anymore. That offense was bullshit yesterday, and y'all know it. They were good in the fourth quarter. They got their work done when needed, and I'm proud of them for that. That showed some championship toughness. You're not going to have a good game every week, but hold yourself to a higher standard, Texas fans, and understand this is not going to get it done in the high leverage games when shit matters. All right, I'm gonna get to the comments because now I'm getting worked up. David, what's your question? What's your question, brother? I'm sorry, I'm behind on the. Yeah, but yeah, I mean everybody. Jaden Blue, the fumbling, right? He's so talented, so gifted in the open field. It's one thing we need you to fix, right? One thing that's holding you back from greatness, brother, and it's obvious. I don't give Sark a F yesterday. Marley said, I agree, Steven, but we are 2 games away from the season ending. I need the offense to get better in the next 2 games. But you also recognize that you are who you are. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But if we're gonna say that, then if this is who we are, Marley, then we're not a national championship team. I think we're a semifinal team. If this is who we are, special teams included, the inconsistencies on offense, they'll lose in the semifinals, somewhere around there. Just the reality. Then we pretty much end where we ended last year. I think that I don't want to leave a season with meat on the bone. Is my point, and that includes Quinn's play. They're leaving meat on the bone a lot. But you're right. You're right. I'm not saying you're wrong. If this is who you are, and we got to accept that, then we got to accept that we're going to need a lot of luck to win the national championship then. Because when you go up against some of the good, you can't look. We're not going to be able to. If we play Ohio State, for example, Ohio State's defense is elite. Tennessee has an elite defense. Georgia won that game yesterday, but look how Georgia won. Carson Beck had to play his best football of the season. He used his legs. He was an athlete. He was making plays in and out of the pocket. He had to be outstanding yesterday to win that game. Anybody watch Tennessee, Georgia? He was. I watched Quinn step up in the pocket and he falls over like a newborn with barely any contact. It's frustrating. Now he made again fourth quarter. He made some plays, absolutely, but that's not enough against the better teams. It's not. And Marlon, there's times too where I think he is trying to spread them out. Now, is he spreading them out in the terms of like using like 10 personnel type concepts? No, but we'll go empty against it and spread them out. And there's opportunities that we're just missing still. We're not executing all the like they could have had 35, 40 points yesterday that they really left on the table. But I didn't like the play calling a lot yesterday. I'm just reading the comments right now. So yes, the 3 high does take away vertical shots. It's or at least designed to do so. Um, Here's the thing, and Mr. Weiser said it earlier about we need big backs as well. Yeah, you can hammer away at it and be effective. As a matter of fact, when Sark played the three high against when he was at Bama, back when what's his name was over there. Uh, he had Najee Harris. They just hammered away with Najee Harris against Arkansas when they did it, um, and he didn't have a problem with it at all. I'll get to the stats as well, but I think it was Barry Odom. Yeah, it was Barry Odom when he went up against Barry Odom, and Barry Odom was deploying that defense the year that Devontae won the Heisman. They just ran Najee and Brian Robinson Jr., who's now in the Commanders. Those two just and then they were complimentary with Max still had like 200 yards or 250 yards passing. They just were able to move the football. I mean, now here's the other thing: you're still going to get shots. We still got shots yesterday. We missed them. Even against that, like Arkansas had bust. The Matthew Golden touchdown was a coverage bust. They had coverage bust all year long. Some of those you're still going to get some opportunities. You're not going to take it away the entire game. There was one where they played cover one. The 3rd and 6, as a matter of fact, with Quinn that I'll get to here. I believe that was cover one. They sent 6 people. We had 6 blocking. Jaden Blue was in pass pro. Quinn's back there. That's 7. So he had a 4-man route, and it's cover one. One safety's back in the hole, deep downfield in Cancun. Hit the in-breaking routes. It's not deep, and we missed it. It's holding us back. Casey Thompson in year one, I hate to say this, but that's the closest we've still seen to Sark's offense in terms of I'd say Casey Thompson year one and the few games that Arch played where he started, and I know that that's what the offense looks supposed to look like, really. Now, there's various versions of Sark's offense, and what Quinn does do underneath and his understanding is still better than what we have to offer right now. Right? Eventually, it is going to be Arch's show, but they have not invested all of this time in Arch like they have in Quinn right now. Um, Now, Arch needs to be ready when called upon because we know Quinn is injury prone. Number one, number two, if it's something so disastrous like the Georgia game where we're not competing, yeah, he's gonna need to play. I would say that about any player on the team. I don't think anybody should just have blind loyalty forever and no player is worth the whole team going down. Not one player. No. I would say that about anybody. If it's that bad, then yeah, but I wouldn't say it was that bad yesterday, but he did not play well yesterday at all. That was not good quarterback play, in my opinion. Thought he had a good fourth quarter. He made some clutch plays. There were some good throws here and there, but overall, consistency wise, coming off the game he had against Florida and considering the level of opponent, did not play good football yesterday. No. See Marlon over here going ham in the comments. So let me do this. Freddie Mac said it. His footwork. I'm gonna share the whatchamacallit that I saw. Shout out to Nash because he puts the every place up, and I want to go through this with you guys. Do 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 do. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything before I share this. I'm just catching up on the comments so I can get to the film thing. Yeah, Denver wanted the offense as a whole. That's why I'm not just putting all that on Quinn. I don't think that the offensive line is being put in the best position every single time. To me, that's one of the coaches. I do think that they're really good at picking stuff up for the most part, pass pro wise, especially the conference that we do play in, and the defensive linemen that they have to face every week. They probably have the toughest matchups week in, week out. Forget records. There's freaks in defensive. Like next week, we're playing Kentucky next week. First rounders on that defensive line. Our offensive line has to play against freaks every single week, and in practice. But the backs can definitely be better. Um, I think the way that the backs are used can be better, and who they give opportunities to. The receivers just some of the consistency stuff, but I don't think drops has been any more of an issue than it has been in any other year. Um, if anybody has a stat or anything on that, want to correct me on that, I don't think it really has been. I mean, Gunnar Helm to me um, probably had. I don't know if I've seen him drop any other passes this year like he did yesterday, but I'm not concerned about it. Is what I'm saying. No, exactly. The problem is consistency. It's consistent. Yeah, his deep ball was catchable last. Yeah, but yesterday in Fayetteville, that Shadow Beard, those were not catchable passes. People talk about arm talent. To me, I think with a clean pocket, I want to see you make a competitive over the shoulder throw to Matthew Golden to open the game and see if you can drop that in the bucket like they do in the pros. Or like to me, Justin Herbert, that's a touchdown. That was a blue chip prospect at Oregon, somebody with a big time arm that was not the level of recruit that Quinn was. Justin Herbert, you give him that look, that's a touchdown. And I know he has a bazooka of an arm, all that. Joe Burrow, though, who doesn't have a bazooka of an arm, I think Joe Burrow understands to put air under that, throw in anticipation, let your guy run underneath that. The safety's gone. He's already vacated the space. Matthew Golden's clearing. Hit him. I think so. To your point about lack of leadership and demeanor, I think this is an inconsistent thing with Quinn. I don't know if it's always bad, but it's I can see how it's frustrating as a viewer, as a fan, when we're not humming, we're stalling, we're not playing to our potential, and and again, it looks like they're kind of too cool for school or just kind of chilling. So I do get that. But I do think that from what I hear, the leadership and accountability is there behind the scenes. From what I hear, Peter, we haven't had Baxter all year though. I hear you, and it is a loss, but that's not an excuse not to still run more consistently downhill. We don't even do it, and when we do it, I think we're getting better results than we realize. They averaged 3 point yards, 3.4 yards per carry yesterday, if you include some of the sack yard. But like, it wasn't great. But like, they're getting they're getting enough of a push to where it should help your play action and help confirm some things downfield to where it's not all reliant on your pass game either. And I still see Texas running the ball pretty efficiently on really key downs. Like they're picking up fourth and ones. They're picking up third and twos. Jared Gibson came in and picked up shit. We ran one last week against Florida on our own 24-yard line early in the game. So it's not horrible. Yes, we miss Baxter. Hell yeah, no doubt about it. But everybody's missing somebody at this point in the year. All right, I'm almost done here. Yeah, the middle of the field stuff, Marlon. To your point, this is kind of what I'm. getting ready to highlight here. Yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying. Um, I look, I I've had this channel for a long time. Um, I was here during the Tom Herman era, so y'all know what time it is when it comes to seeing bad football and close losses, and the team just not being super talented either. Um, so I hear you about the joy of being 9-1. But respectfully, that wasn't the goal coming into the season. I think you can do both. I think you can appreciate the wins, be grateful for the wins. I know I was. I wasn't mad after the game yesterday. I really wasn't. And I can only speak for myself personally. I wasn't mad at the game, and I started this show with flowers for my defensive guys that balled their asses off, like Jade Barron, who again I think should win the Thorpe Award this year and be a first team All American. I also believe, though, based upon our goals and what we are coming, I'm a Spurs fan. We came up short in 2013 against the Miami Heat. 2014 was all about winning that shit. That was the only focus. And we went and did it because we knew we were right there in 2013. We ain't gonna let that shit slip away. So that's also my mentality. And I think that should be the mentality of the team. Um, now we're not in the locker room and all that type of stuff. So again, we're 9-1. Um, I've defended the schedule to a degree because I was told the SEC is supposed to be a gauntlet. But the reality is, we also haven't played a bunch of killers like that are this year. We haven't. We haven't. So while we're playing some of these teams, we have an opportunity to really, really tune up the vehicle, right? And be full, all gas, no brakes when we go up against those really, really good teams and have things humming like they should be. So there's no doubt. The team I've seen do the best at that was the Clemson team that won the championship, Trevor Lawrence's freshman year. They played a really, really light ACC schedule for those who don't remember. The T. Higgins, Justin Ross, Travis Etienne team with Trevor Lawrence. They didn't really play anybody in the ACC. They kind of cruised after they remember they went to Texas A&M. He ends up becoming the full time starter. The other guy transferred. Um, Kelly Bryant. Kelly Bryant transferred. Trevor Lawrence took over. Played a really watered down ACC schedule. They weren't playing anybody. They made the playoffs, but because they had worked on their shit all year and got that shit tuned up, they went to the playoffs and dominated. I think it was the Notre Dame game and then the Bama game. And they were looking because they had gotten everything tuned up. That's how you handle that, in my opinion, because you can't control who you play right now. All right, let me get this up here. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Shout out to Nash Talks Texas for the clip, and I'm gonna. I just did talk about the blue fumble. He can't fumble. That's the one problem. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, so this is the play where first quarter, and this is just an example of what we're talking about, right? So looking at this play here, we'll go back a couple seconds. All right. So the next play coming up, 3rd and 6, right? This is where I'm saying he falls over like a newborn. Y'all tell me. Okay, let's go through this. All right. So Arkansas is sending 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people, right? One guy's coming on kind of a delay. They twist it. But look, we picked that shit up. Jaden Blue steps up here. Hayden's fine. Banks is in good position. DJ's got his guy. Cam's letting this guy kind of widen out. I feel like we're good. All right. Now Gunnar Helm is running out or is running up and out to the sideline. And these guys are going to be in breaking routes. So this over here is Matthew Golden. And then the other person that's going to come into the picture is Isaiah Bond on another in breaking route at a different level. This is pretty much cover one. You have your one deep safety back here. The other receiver on the other side is running off, right? So if they blitzed like this, and this is why I talk about they vacated space. They blitzed, so they left the whole middle of the field open. Just anticipate this and hit one of your in-breaking guys. Right now, it's not, you can't see it yet, but if I go another second, boom. Isaiah Bond has inside leverage. This guy defending him is behind. Matthew Golden is clearing to the inside. They have blitzed. We picked it up. All 6 guys, including my back. We picked it up. But look at Quinn's feet. Does he look like he's ready to fire the gun? Personally, like, his feet right now, the way he's looking, his helmet is like kind of over here, but his feet are squared up like he wants to throw this way. Silas is clearing. Isaiah Bond is now crossing his face. It's very clear that Matthew Golden, throw it at the fucking ref, right? Like I said, Helm's clearing out. There's 2 different in breaking routes at 2 different levels. And here's the other thing, guys. And I know screenshot analysis is not the best. Everything's happening real speed. But if this is Jalen Milroe and he doesn't see it, what happens? Y'all tell me in the comments. If this is Jalen Milroe, and let's say he doesn't feel good about throwing to either Bond here with inside leverage or Golden up here with inside leverage, doesn't he? There's no spy. Doesn't he just freaking just bounce up the middle? That's what Milroe would do in this scenario. Even Carson Beck yesterday. Carson Beck, same scenario. There's, again, no spy. Everybody that was in the middle of this defense came. It's cover one deep safety. Everybody else is a man. This is not deep. And breaking route. It's 3rd and 6. Ball should already be gone, in my opinion. Ball should already be gone. Yes, he did trip over Cam's foot. But on the back drop, like here, he knows Gunnar Helm's going to clear, right? Once he clears, this guy's going to go. This guy already has inside leverage, but he's looking this way. That's fine. Isaiah Bond's coming. Hit him. Why are we moving off of this? Somebody tell me. All right, fine. You move off of it. Fucking run. Like, to me, he has like 3 different options here, and he just falls down. Am I tripping? They loop and do all this shit. It doesn't matter. We pick it up. Open. This is open. In breaking route. Open. There's nobody in the middle of the field. And if you don't like it because you're not ready to fire your gun because you have bad feet, put your head down and just run and get freaking 10 yards. Easy money. But if I'm sarc, y'all, I'm like, I gave you the answers to the test. To me, based upon what the defensive coordinator showed us with this cover one look, and everybody else in the middle just fucking blitzed. I gave y'all the answer. I have in-breaking routes for you at each level. If you want extra credit, hit Matthew Golden. If you just want an easy first, hit Isaiah Bond. If you don't like either, put your head down and get 10 yards. I made it kind of easy for you if I'm Sark. I don't again, I'm not in the film room. I don't know what the progressions are, but I know concepts. So when people say we're overreacting or we're blaming, we're going too far on the Quinn hate, is this good quarterback play? This is in the NFL, especially in the NFL. This is wide open. They consider this wide open. He's one. The defender's right here. You let him run to that, he's catching that with his hands. He's getting tackled for a first down. Matthew Golden's one up top. Those guys, like, I'll let it play out one more time, but I just, I don't know. We got eyes, man. We got eyes. This is not the offensive line. They picked it up. They ran that T&E or whatever you want to call it. They picked it up. Look at his feet. Look at his eyes. That's not going to win you a national championship. I'm sorry. Big Cam, he's got us. Everything's fine. Why are we panicking right now? Bond's not here yet, but he can anticipate this. He's breaking. He's already cutting across the dude's face. And if you really got arm talent, hit Golden up here. Even if he had run, I would have been okay with that. So, again, I'm not here to play favorites with anybody or people. Okay? We watch the game, we look at the game, we analyze the game, and we want to improve. We want to learn. I don't want to see that next time. When we get that look again and somebody else wants to deploy that, that's not. Also, y'all, tell me in the chat, is that being confused and mustered up by 3 high? Oh my God, they're running 3 high. Was that 3 high that we just saw? Y'all tell me. Or was it just man underneath with a safety down the middle and nobody in the middle of the field? No, y'all tell me. So I feel like we just sometimes just rush to something like, oh, 3 high gives us problems, blah, blah, blah. Nah, that's not 3 high. That's cover 1. Basic cover 1. You have your in-breaking beaters. My coach dialed it up correctly. We blocked Kyle Flood. Shout out to you. You got your guys communicating. They picked it up. If I'm them, I'm pissed that we get graded with a fucking sack when we did what we were supposed to do. That's a year 3 quarterback. No, it's not cover 0. It's not cover 0 because the safety's back there. It's not cover 0. If it was cover 0, there'd be no deep safety back there. That's cover 1. It doesn't even matter. The answers to the test are there. That's one play in the first quarter. That's a self-sack. Exactly. That's a self-sack. Now, and look, to be fair, we can show plays where Quinn does it beautifully. Michigan. This is not to cherry pick and say, I don't think Quinn is trash. I don't. He is very inconsistent, and he is behind where he should be for a year 3 quarterback in this offense. If he was trash, then we wouldn't even have expectations for him, and Arch would be in there. He's not trash. He can play. I've seen him make throws. I just want to know why he can't do it consistently. But I just went through that analysis. Feel free, anybody, tell me if I'm tripping and what I'm seeing, or if y'all seeing the same stuff. All right, because I know if you're a real football head, that shit should piss you off. I mean, come on. That's not even, that has nothing to do with playing in Vietnam. That has nothing to do with these spooky three high coverages. It's 3rd and 6. They ran a stunt. We picked it up. There's nobody in the middle of the field. Let's play football. Stop with all the distractions. Let's play football. There's no three safeties back there. Knock it off. Let's if we want to analyze the three safety snaps, let's do that. All right. I know I'm not Ian Boyd and all these other guys, but I got eyes. Okay. I got eyes, and I know what my eyes are telling me on certain down. They ran a fucking basic ass cover one on third down, on a money down. So if we're having trouble executing those things, what else are we having trouble with? Even if he had run, at least I could say, okay, hey, next time let's hit the guys. But at least it's like, to me, Milrow, at least, or somebody, and again, not Milrow, but like Carson Beck yesterday, Nico yesterday, both of them, Jackson Dart last week. All right, I didn't see it for whatever reason. Just step up and run. There's be an athlete. You're a D1 athlete, right? Why are you falling down? Run. Get the first down. All right. No, he should be. Ian Boyd, I mean, the film don't lie. The film don't lie. That's why we on his ass. Because this is it's right there. I'm not blaming Isaiah Bond for that. Isaiah Bond cleared, he beat his man across his face. He won his route. Matthew Golden won his route. Helm and Silas cleared like they're supposed to. Jaden Blue went, picked up somebody. We talk about, oh, we don't have Cedric Baxter. He was our best pass pro guy. Were you guys fine with Jaden Blue on that rep? Did he not pick up his guy? He did. That was serviceable for me. That's fine. For me. I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to do film study because like I'm gonna get demonetized. So if we do film study, I'm gonna have to like start a whatchamacallit so I can, like, a Patreon or something. And we can learn together. We can do it together. I think what Sark can do, it's a good question because I do want to get wrapped up here in a couple. Hang on one second, y'all. I need to check something before, because I'm actually getting ready to. I gotta actually hit a flight today. Believe it or not. I appreciate y'all saying y'all pay for it. All right, maybe we'll get something for the playoffs going where we do some film study type stuff. Okay, yeah, let's figure it out because I like I like doing stuff like that because I learn if I'm off, if I'm not seeing something, but also if I know what my eyes tell me. Okay, and when we go through that together, it's like, again, I'm not trying to argue. I texted my buddy. I texted my buddy Texas Homer yesterday, and we were talking, and I was like, "Yo, we just have to continue as content creators in this space. We just have our jobs to call balls and strikes. That's what our job is when we're talking like this. When we're talking football, we share our opinions, right, and all that. Because at the end of the day, I'm a fan. I'm not an analyst. I'm not a coach or anything like that. But when it comes to shit like that, we got to call balls and strikes. It's not about protecting people. It's not about having an agenda or anything like that. So I really appreciate you guys coming on here and rapping with me today. Uh, I'll look into the Patreon stuff because I think the film study analysis will be dope. I really do. I really do. Um, but I will have after I get back and finish my travels, I will have more this week, and I'll see if I can get the Unfiltered Boys on here as well. Maybe find another clip that we break down and do with you guys. But this has been fun. Look, sky's not falling. We got stuff to work on because we're trying to get to the highest level. I'm trying to get ready for A&M. The A&M game is huge. It's everything. Trying to get back. Trying to get to Atlanta so we can get our get back against Georgia potentially. So we gotta. That's how practice. Like if you ever played football before, sometimes a win don't feel like a win. It's like yo, we got work to do. We got to roll up our sleeves so we can get to our goals. We're thankful. We got the job done. We got the win. If you have an Arkansas fan in your life, talk all your shit. All right. Fry that swine right in front of them. We got them pigs up out of there. Absolutely. But in terms of our goals and whatnot, uh, you know, in terms of our goals, we got a lot to accomplish. So, all right, y'all. Remember, horns always up. Hit that like button, subscribe. Appreciate y'all. Horns always up. Peace. Hook 'em.